Hi guys, this is Dr. Brian Opp from Opp Family Chiropractic right here in St. Francis. And today I want to talk to you about improving your performance and your recovery in the gym, in life, just in any activity that you're doing throughout your life. So stay tuned to the rest of this video and I'll tell you how. So when it comes to performance and recovery of activities that we're doing, and we all have to think that we're athletes, whether it's playing with our grandkids, taking care of our own kids, going for a hike, a walk, going to the gym, any of that stuff, that's all athletic performance, right? Because we need to be able to move our body. So we need to really set a couple of goals at first. First, we want to talk about prevention of injury, or if we do get an injury, how do we recover? And then once we do recover, that next goal would be, how do we improve our overall performance when we want to be able to do something? Okay, so let's talk about the injury. There's 3 phases of care to an injury. So phase 1, this happens in the first 72 hours of getting an injury. We want to really control that pain and start to really, what we call, resolve that inflammation. Often that inflammation gets overblown. That's why we're told to rest, ice, elevate. That stuff is all on the surface, right? So we want to be able to do stuff on the inside. So we want to take some things that'll help do that. Some of the main things that I often recommend for doing that first phase of care are fish oil. A lot of times helps reduce some of that inflammation. I like to use a product called PRM Resolve. So that's what helps resolve inflammation. We use turmeric, curcumin, stuff like that. So those are some of the things that we do initially to help mitigate some of that inflammation. Too much inflammation is bad, but not having none. So if you're taking an ibuprofen and a Tylenol to help reduce that inflammation, you're actually decreasing the body's ability to heal. So we just want to help the body have enough inflammation to do its job to repair that tissue. The next phase is phase 2. So this is when we start to repair, right? So we need to increase things like protein, because what is the building blocks of our tissue? Protein. So getting more protein in your diet, and some people say once you get an injury, your need for protein actually doubles. So you might have to do some protein shakes, some extra branched chain amino acids, things like that, eating a little more protein with each meal and throughout the day. Next, after we got some repair, that takes about 8 weeks on average for most people, 4 to 8 weeks depending on the person. That third phase is where we really want to optimize tissue repair. This is where performance really comes into it. So as we're getting back into the gym and doing exercises that we used to do, we want to make sure that we're continuing to improve that performance. So some of the things that we talk about there nutrition-wise is, once again, we want to stay on top of that fish oil. We want to keep that protein in there, keep taking those branched chain amino acids. So doing those types of things will help with that tissue repair. Other things I really like, collagen, right? Collagen makes up a lot of that tissue. So using that as well, and as a long-term thing, it also helps with your gut as well. So that's always good things to do because it's the building block of all of our tissues, okay? So goals. How do we set goals for our patients? Well, when they first come in, we do a couple different things. We like to do what's called a CAMS assessment on them, so to see how that person moves. We have some other videos on that. It's a great tool we use. It gives us an overall score on your ability to move or not be able to move, and then we can set those goals in those specific exercises. We also like to do what's called an Body Bia Analysis. So we have a machine that you step on and hold some handles. It gives us a lot of great information from lean body mass, water that might be inside a cell and outside of a cell, and something called a phase angle, which is the health of the cells in your body. So those are some really good things that we can take and then put goals around. So you can either want to increase lean muscle mass, decrease fat, increase the endurance, those types of things. That can show where our progress is being made or where we might have some issues. Lastly, we look at all the nutritional things that might be beneficial. So what are some of the simplest things you can do? Taking a multivitamin. They say that 90% of the population is deficient in at least one nutrient, okay? If you're deficient in one, you're probably deficient in a few. Most of our diets are not chock full of nutrient-dense foods, so we need to be able to take a multivitamin and get some of those gaps covered. Next, glutamine, most abundant amino acid in our body. Great for tissue repair, great for gut health. I use it a lot with my gut patients as well too. When we work out, it's a stress. A lot of times it can create a leaky gut issue. So doing that is of great benefit to your overall health. We talked about collagen, once again, great for tissue building. Fish oil, so many benefits from your brain to reducing inflammation. You take enough of it, it's been shown to help you lose weight because you're eating better fats, and it allows your blood sugar to be more normal with that. Branched chain amino acids, great way to help post-workout, increase in muscle growth. I like melatonin at night, helps decrease inflammation, and when you sleep better, your testosterone level will naturally go up and your human growth hormone will go up. So if you sleep better, that's a natural way to improve performance. So use some of these tools, ask questions if you have some. Let's get you back to the gym, back to normal life, whatever we can possibly do. And remember, we're all athletes. This is Dr. Brian Opp from Opp Family Chiropractic. Hope you enjoyed this video.